I love starting
Hey,
while you're talking, Lane. But yes, Lane was making a great point, guys. By the way, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to. I just saw myself freezing for a second. Welcome back to Hot Toys Hotline Live, episode 115. What Lane was saying before we got started, which he made a great point, he said it's a shame that, we didn't have more stuff come through this week, seeing as we're not going to be here next week because Chris and I will be on vacation. And I'm like, yeah, that's a great point, Lane, because Hot Toys should have been prepared for me going on vacation. They should have had stuff ready for me to report with you guys. But I see a bunch of people already in the chat. We got Lane back today. Lane was off last week, but he's back on payroll this week. Of course, I'm just joking because nobody really, even I really don't make.
When's the last paycheck I got from being on here? I don't remember. I mean,
It,
I
it
know
was
I
a
get
reverse
paid in
paycheck. It was a reverse.
I know
so
I
you
get
had to
paid in
donate
goodwill.
something.
I get paid in goodwill mostly and stuff, and I always appreciate that.
It was a reverse paycheck, Lane. So you had to donate a giveaway for the channel. That was the reverse paycheck.
Yeah, that's right. I'm sorry. I forgot. That's how it's supposed to work.
So we're, we kind of pulled a Nintendo on you. We're raising our prices. So,
Man,
hopefully-
can you, for a non-figure thing, could you believe the pricing on that stuff where you were maybe excited, and just like on the turn of a second? This is why social media is a bad thing sometimes that it came into existence. Because I think literally within less than a minute, you could see the entire thought processing of Nintendo on the internet flip completely. Kind of like Artisan Anakin, some people did.
I hope Brick Artemis is in the chat because him and I had an hour-long debate almost about the Switch. And of course, I was on the side of I thought everything was overpriced, but we won't get into that. But Lane, yeah, it is crazy.
We got a lot of other collectible stuff we can talk about if we need to talk about
I could talk about the Switch pricing for hours, and I have with multiple of my friends. But Lane, thank you so much for being here, my friend. It's great to have you back. It's always a shame when you can't make it because you are part of Hot Toys Hotline. You're part of this live stream, so it was sad to not see you last week, but it's great to have you back. And actually, Mike will not be here tonight, Thrawn's office. I'm sure he'll pop in the chat maybe here and there. If not, he'll be here in spirit. And Chris, he might make it closer towards the end of the stream, guys. This will be a shorter stream, which is a good thing. We'll have a chance to talk more with you guys in the chat. Because this week actually was a bit on the lighter side, but there is some cool stuff that popped through, and I want to hear everybody's thoughts on the mall especially. And of course, we're going to talk about Frank Dux. Yes, Frank Dux. Caustic Plastik has been keeping me busy for a couple years now at this point, but yeah.
Quick question: Have their special edition or anything sold out completely?
I haven't checked, so I know the exclusive is limited to 200 pieces hand numbered.
Yeah, I remember you had said a couple weeks ago. It's a very
the other retailers just started listing up. Dude, they're buying from Caustic direct right now is the best decision. Trust me, because Big Bad Toy Store has the deluxe listed for $550. That's more than the exclusive from Caustic Plastik. So we'll talk about that.
Where you get the best. Yeah, no, I'm just curious because in case people were maybe interested, but if one of those versions was close to going bye-bye, then you might want to let them know.
Yeah, the deluxe and the collector edition will be around for a while, I'm sure. But that exclusive, it is hand numbered, limited to 200. So definitely pre-order that if you want it, because it does have that extra head sculpt and that extra gi as well.
The best terrible head sculpt one could ever ask for.
Hey, I like it. But yeah, we're going to talk about it, Lane. Yeah. Let's say what's up to everybody in the chat. We got Valkyrie Magnus in the house. What's up, Valk? Thank you so much for being here, my friend. A channel member and an absolute lad. And I've been seeing Valk all around, all over the place, and it's so great to see him on the streams. And he's just an all-around gentleman. So, Valk, thank you so much for being here, my friend. I hope you're doing well on this fine Tuesday evening. We got my boy Kaiju Daddy in the house. I was actually finally able to catch Kaiju live. I feel like he never catches me live because of the time difference. I never catch him live. But I was able to pop in and chat with those guys for a little bit. Great streams over on Kaiju Daddy's channel. And if you guys watch a lot of the 112 scale content, I think Kaiju does a lot of early stuff with the Mafex and SH Figure Arts and, taking a look at a lot of different figures. If you're Robert, you're taking a look at a lot of figures over on his channel. So definitely check out Kaiju Daddy, guys. 112 scale. I did my InArt Batman review for the 112 scale figure, but I'm not the 112th guy. Kaiju is my resident 112th guy, and our boy Sneaky Figures as well. Another channel member and a great friend. 2 moderators as well. We got 112th guys here as moderators, but they're also 1/6 guys. But gentlemen, thank you so much for being here. As always, I appreciate you. But yeah, if you guys have any questions about 112 scale stuff, especially when it comes to Mafex and SH Figure Arts. Don't ask me because I don't know. But if you ask me what I thought of that new Obi-Wan that was just announced, I tell you he looks like Pinhead Larry. I don't I don't like that figure at all, man.
I thought you were the 1/12 daddy actually, but I guess I was wrong.
No, I'm not. I mean, I do collect like, 1/12 scale Star Wars stuff. I collect 3.75. Like I like that stuff. I've been collecting it for years, but I don't.
But you're not paying attention
not
to
the higher
pulse.
end stuff.
Or you're not on like the pulse, like glued into the pulse about what are they coming with next.
Right. There's a lot of really cool higher end stuff, and like the in-art stuff, it is really cool. And after I looked at that Batman, I'm like, damn, 1/12 scale is getting really good, but I got to stay away from it. We got Payton23 in the house, another moderator and a great friend. Payton says, good evening, fellow collectors. What's up, Payton? Thank you so much for being here, as always, bro. Hope you're doing well. We got my boy Tim Harvey in the house. What's up, Tim? Tim says, what's up, Connor and crew? Not sure how long I'll be here, but I'll catch the replay if I can't hang through the whole show. Well, thank you so much, Tim, as always, for being here. And guys, if you don't know, Tim is the creator of the Kaustic Plastik Facebook group. Runs a great group over there. I love seeing everybody's excitement for the caustic stuff, and it's a really fun group to be in. So if you haven't already, head on over to Facebook. If you search up Kaustic Plastik, it's the only Kaustic Plastik specific group. And yeah, shout out to Tim, as always, for running a great group over there. Yes, and Kaiju seems to think he's only trolling, of course, but he keeps bringing up this Jedi Starfighter because there is one more slot left for a 6-scale item. We'll say item because we don't know exactly what it's going to be. And we'll chat about that as we kind of glance over the current lineup of Celebration stuff. But yeah, apparently there's one more item, and Kaiju's throwing it in the hat. He's saying it's the Jedi Starfighter. We got my boy, a moderator, a longtime channel member, the OG fan when Star Wars was just Star Wars. OG, thank you so much for being here, bro. OG says, let's fracking go, hotties. Well, I appreciate you for being here, dude, as always. I hope you're doing well on this fine Tuesday evening. And I know you're excited because it's approaching Star Wars week, really. We got Star Wars Celebration coming up, and then just beyond that, May the 4th. So a great time to be Star Wars fans and collectors. And I'm really excited to see what everybody gets from Star Wars Celebration. Unfortunately, I won't be there, but I will be hunting down, thanks to some friends of mine, a lot of those Hot Toys, and I'll be excited to see what everybody else picks up. But thank you so much for being here, as always, OG. We got Gio, the movie canon, in the house, another channel member and a great friend. Gio just had his 50th episode, so congrats to Gio. 50 live streams is no joke.
Wow.
Me personally, obviously, and Lane as well, knows how much work goes into this stuff, so congrats on that, my friend. That is a awesome achievement. And Gio was actually potentially going to be on tonight, but because it was such a light week, we decided once I get back from vacation, hopefully we get a nice boom of stuff after Celebration, and Gio's going to be joining us at some point. So it'd be awesome to have Gio on finally. We got Field of Burn in the house, another channel member. Thank you so much for being here, Field of Burn, as always. Again, also always great to see you over on everybody's channels, Gio, and the many other channels you've been on. And thank you, as always, for being here and for the amazing support. I hope you're doing well. And I hope you pre-ordered your Frank Dux. You should have. If you haven't already, you better. I know you're a big horror guy, but you got to pre-order Frank Dux. Come on now. If you're an 80s kid especially, it's a must. You have to get Frank Dux. And that's hashtag hotline confirmed if Pedro Lopez is in the chat. Illusion Entity says, good morning from the UK. Good morning, my friend. Thank you so much for tuning in. I know the time difference is rough. I really do appreciate, especially anybody, dedicating their time to watch us, but especially with the different time zones. I really do appreciate it. So thank you so much for being here, as always. I know, OG, I think we're going to be waiting until the end of time on those. I don't think those are happening. But Lane, Kaiju did say he was going to get you 10 Jedi Starfighters, and I was like, but he's probably going to sell all 10 of them. And yeah, he's like, Lane would never do that to me. He did defend you. He said Lane would never do that to me. Oh, there he is. There's Brick. Like I said, as soon as I started talking, I should say Lane and I were talking about the Switch. I knew he was gonna come out.
There's certain people who just have that radar sense up, like,
right,
like an anime sneeze or something when someone's talking about them and they know something's up.
Exactly. Well, thank you, 16fix, for being here. Jose's co-host. Those guys are doing their awesome live streams now, and I'm meaning to get on one soon, so hopefully we can work things out. Hopefully in May I'll be able to make it over with you guys. But 16fix says, and it's going to get worse on the Switch 2 price. I know, yeah, them pulling the pre-orders temporarily. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be very interesting. Yes, Brick says he's gonna face me. We're gonna figure out some game he wants to face me in. I told him, like, dude, I can't
bring
beat
you to your knees.
Any first person shooter, if you want me to put you in the grave, just let me know, dude. I got you.
I know I'm not playing you. My name's Headshot Dead Doc, as it is.
Illusion Entity says at this price point of the Switch 2, you might as well put your big boy pants.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, you're getting into that territory without the performance, you know? It's pretty crazy, the pricing on it. But like I said, I could talk about it for hours. I don't want to get into it. I'm going to talk figures. But also, guys, we're not getting into the tariff stuff either. I promise you we're not talking about tariffs. I've heard enough of just this week.
I know. There's been a lot of talk on everything for that.
Collecting Weekly this evening, I saw his title. They're going to be doing tariff talk, so if you guys want to do that, head on over. Check out Collecting Weekly. Those are great guys over there. They'll be talking about the tariff stuff. We don't do that stuff here. We're just chilling, talking about figs, and that's what we're going to do. 12-inch Moose Stream, my friend, thank you so much for being here, as always. Another OG Hotline Hottie. Moose says, hello, community of collectors. Unbox Battle Damage Deadpool. Modern Batman is next. Moose, word to the wise, swap out that cape on that Modern Batman, because it is awful, at least in my opinion. And you'll probably will agree.
However,
I think
if you are looking for Modern Batman, that one is in stock right now on
yeah, what was it originally waitlisted and then it went back? Is that what happened?
It went against stock or something like that. So that Batman is now it might be going up a little bit for some of the other stuff, because I saw some figures to go up $5 in the shadow price increase. This isn't the first time Sideshow's done that, though. So I'm not gonna. I'm like, but at the same time, this is not the first time they've done crap like that. So but that Modern Batman is a great figure, and that head sculpt is.
I love that little smiling sculpt. Is sick. It's spot on to Keaton.
And I think that head sculpt looks good. Actually, if you just have the Keaton head sculpt on the suit, it looks good.
It's the only thing I don't like is the collar on it, but other than that, it's great. Yeah. Fig Poser, what's up, my bro? Always good to see you, man. Him and I are always chatting. You know, I said it many times. He's a fellow DMV guy, so always great to have local people in the hobby, because you don't see enough of those. But thanks for being here as always, bro. I appreciate you. And speak his name, and he shall show up. But like I said, if you see Pedro Lopez, you will see #Hotline confirm. Oh, there it is. Oh, I will excuse the typo, because he was very fast as soon as I said that. But Pedro, thank you so much for being here as always, bro. Tijuana Mike is in the house, a.k.a. King Tro. What's up, my dude? Thank you so much for being here, Mike, as always. And thank you so much for the support, being a Hotline Hottie. I very much appreciate it. I hope you're doing well on this fine Tuesday evening. Also, we got my boy, Mr. J, another channel member. He says, yo, evening collectors. What's up, dude? I hope you're doing well. Thank you so much for being here. Speaking of another person I think was also recently on GeoStream is Feezy. What's up, Feezy? Thank you so much for being here, bro. Not much, man. We're just chilling. Having a chill stream this Tuesday, not like a couple weeks ago, Lane, where we were just bombarded by shit, where I had like 30 tabs on my other screen. It feels
and I'm sure you were like, no, guys, we got to go faster. We got to go like Sonic the Hedgehog almost speed through all this stuff.
Exactly. So we don't have to do that this time. We could just chill. I can read as many comments as I can. Chris Williams in the house. What's up, Chris? Chris says Darkside Anakin. I don't know, dude. I think maybe they'll save that one for now. They'll let the current one marinate.
Just to play for that Switch thing, for as much as we're like, oh my gosh, how expensive that stuff's going to be, I would normally say, yeah, I will worry about price on stuff. But at the same time, I just had to look last night that somehow Prime One, they put up a $20,000 Optimus Prime statue. I sent that to you, and you just went, what the hell is that?
That's probably what I said, something to that effect.
Yeah, I know. And you know what? That waitlisted. They sold out of all 100.
Hey, just because I can't afford it, I don't knock the hustle,
No, like literally, just to put you all the YouTube statue guys said there's no way they'll sell like 50 of those. And they waitlisted it.
I guess Transformers is bigger than we think.
Yeah, a lot of rich Asian guys needed those.
Yeah, congrats on them. That's it's an awesome piece, but it takes up so much space, so much money. Jose Plus, what's up, my friend? I was just talking about you. 16 Fix is in the house, so I'm like, you guys got to check them out. They got that new stream going on, and I'll be making my way over there soon. Jose and I are trying to work it out.
If you want to make secondary market Artisan Anakin look like a bargain, there you go.
That's true. By the way, what's up, Jordan Skinner? Mark Palmer's in the house. Sorry, guys, I'm trying to get through these as quick as possible. Julio. Let's see who else I got here. Let's see. Yes, the cape on Modern Batman is ass. And yes, I've already replaced mine. I had an extra 89 cape, and it made it 10 times better for me. Joshua, congrats. That is a fantastic figure. I love that figure. The Sasha Kaye sculpt is so much better than the original prototype. It's awesome. Thank you so much, OG Fan, a channel member for 15 months. That is true dedication. I very much appreciate that. And OG Fan says, have you heard the legend of Darth Lane, the mercenary collector? He once sold a broken Darkside Anakin for over $800, and he's got the glasses and smoking emoji. Total legend. Love you, Lane. Lane's just like, no comment. Let's see.
Well, I'm trying to get over. I'm trying to, wow.
And then we have a $5 super chat from OG. Thank you so much, OG. By the way, guys, the figure fund donation pool is up. Like I said, I'm on the road to these Star Wars Celebration, the 4 figures I need to buy. So if you would like to donate to a great cause, there's the figure fund.
Yeah.
Sorry, Lane. He says, thank you for not discussing the tariffs. Like I said, shout out to Collecting Weekly. I know Zach is probably way smarter in that stuff than I am too, so we'll let him lead the charge. I know they do a great job over there on Collecting Weekly, so they'll be on after us. And I'm sure a lot of you, once we go down, you eventually make your way over there. So definitely check them out if you wanna hear about it. Brick Artemis says, "I'll never say hi again." I don't know if he's talking to me. I appreciate you, Brick. Thank you so much, Brick. I'll be a little bit lighter on Brick now. You got to be mean a little bit. That's how you get the donations out of them. But thank you so much. Of course, I'm joking, Brick. Thank you so much, my friend, with the $2 super chat. He says, "For the fun, hashtag choose to collect." I still owe Brick. I've told him multiple times I would film that little choose to collect video for his channel, and I keep freaking slacking. Brick, you have to remind me when I get back, because now I'm live and I'm on the spot. So I've committed to it live. You have to remind me when I get back from vacation. Okay, good. He wasn't talking to me. See, I'm a nice guy. Come on now. But guys, I hope I got everybody. As always, if I missed you, throw your comments in as we're discussing these figures, and I'll try my best to read your comments. And this is the great stream to do it because we have a smaller panel tonight. But we're going to get into it, Lane. So not surprisingly at all, this figure was getting absolutely crapped on. And I think a lot of questions that were posed, the biggest one, Lane, was this right here. They're like, what is that? What's going, who the fuck is that guy? Yeah, I mean, that's what a lot of people were asking. They're like, what is this? Like, especially a lot of people that are not hardcore Star Wars fans, and maybe they collect casually, or for whatever reason, I've never seen it.
Was this a miniseries we missed, or like
right? Like, what is this? Is this something Hot Toys just came up with out of their ass? Like, what is this? And guys, I do have a photo. Right, something like that. Exactly. I do have a photo pulled up, guys, of what this is actually, inspired by, and that's actually the original concept art for Maul from the Phantom Menace. So this is the original concept art right here. So looking at this, you could kind of see where the inspiration was. The one thing that Hot Toys did that was very Hot Toys with this is they didn't change the sculpt much at all. They didn't slim the face down and kind of change the facial features.
No.
It's obvious that they just took their awesome new Phantom Menace sculpt and kind of reused it here. And I know a lot of people are going to shit on this. Trust me, I know.
It looks like a pleather nightmare waiting to happen.
I don't know, Lane. It actually looks like sculpted plastic to me.
You think maybe the outfit?
Yeah, I think this is actually sculpted plastic. I don't think that...
Oh, if it's that, then it's okay.
Yeah. I mean, so what I like about this, Lane, being a big horror fan, it kind of reminds me of like Hannibal Lecter a little bit with that collar. It reminds me of like a straitjacket, like a weird Star Wars straitjacket. So I kind of like it. And the two people in the chat who like this, they're like, oh, nice, somebody else likes it. I like concept art. And what I'm really hoping this might inspire is Hot Toys to do some Ralph McQuarrie stuff, because nobody's going to be laughing then when it comes to concept art, because Ralph McQuarrie and Lane... well, we need more, Lane. We need more.
I know.
I guess
got the Rebels ones.
The Rebels, the Rebels Trooper and the Vader. Yeah, those are inspired by McQuarrie. But I'm talking about, like, you know what I mean, like that.
Yeah, I know. I'm just giving you a hard time.
Yeah, that like McQuarrie Vader with the blue, coloring on the armor, and that different lightsaber that he has, and like Ralph McQuarrie's original design for Boba Fett that eventually became like the Super Commando.
Yeah.
There's just a lot of really cool stuff they could dive into. And if you guys are familiar with the company, I was telling Chris this, Collecting Madness. Shout out to Chris. I think he said what's up in the chat, and I completely missed it.
Mm-hmm.
Regal Robot, if you guys are familiar with that company, a big portion of their business and what they do is concept art pieces, and their stuff
Yeah.
sells out very quickly. It sells for a ton of money. So there is a market out there for concept art stuff. It's just, I don't know if this is the most popular one, Lane. I don't know if this is the one, you know.
And Hot Toys may not be the Hot Toys may not be the actual venue for that kind of stuff too. There are
Right, you know, yeah. and I think the biggest one with this is probably the horns. I know, like,
they do look kind of goofy.
I think the original design, it was actually like feathers, like it was meant to be feathers. Yeah. I think that's what it was supposed to be.
They were Indian, like, a little bit more, like the Night Brothers. Now, I will say this outfit they have used in some other stuff for the Night Brothers and stuff. You know, the Dothamer, the Iridonian males, you know, the husbands or mates of the Night Sisters and the witches of Dothamer. Well, you know, I can't say
it's the blue steel. It's the blue steel Darth Maul. That's what it is. Thank you so much, Sneaky, by the way, for the $2 super chat. You are too kind, my friend. But hey, Lane, see, there's some people out there like me that are crazy enough to like this. And Chris Williams says, I really love it. Hopefully I can get one. Chris, I think, honestly, out of all the Celebration exclusives, and by the way, there will be some available on Sideshow, this will be a cakewalk for you. It's not going to be hard to get. This is not going to resell for a lot of money. Maybe the Celebration version just because it has exclusive stuff, but I think you'll be just fine getting the Sideshow pre-order for this. I think it'll be easy. Yeah, exactly. I don't think they'll... And Illusion, yeah, in a lot of cases, that is true. Like, perfect example, Anakin, his hair... I'm sure a lot of you guys who are Star Wars fans have seen the behind the scenes of Hayden selecting his hair and speaking with George Lucas in the costume department. Some of those hair designs for Anakin were awful. They had him in like this long-haired wig with like a rat tail. It was like almost the final design, and Hayden, you could see him wearing that wig, and he was so uncomfortable looking at himself in the mirror because it did look really like girly, I guess, for his character. That's kind of how he seemed to respond to it. So yeah, in some cases, yes, but also I personally think that some concept art gets disrespected and should have made its way. You know, it's kind of a catch-22.
Yeah, it's hard. It's very hard to. You can see why it was concept art and why it was evolved. And sometimes it depends what the concept art they did. The first design, you kind of go, well, that was the classic one, but you're like, well, there's a reason they redid it a couple times. Even where it's not exactly like the movie, where you can see where it fits better, or you know, or you can see how it was like, well, they can kind of actually make that look or actually make that costume. You can see how it became. We could feasibly make it, you know, in real life.
Yeah,
back in the 80s,
right, and also too, Lane, I think, let's be real. When we look at this and we look at the final design for the Phantom Menace Maul, like, yeah, they chose the real winner. The final design,
yeah,
in my opinion, had this been the Maul that they chose, I don't know if it would have been as revered, or he wouldn't be as dark of a character, because those black robes on that red face, just kind of slow, like small reveal of his face with the, you know, on Tatooine when he jumps off the bike.
Really
like that's hard, you know.
Maul's final design there. You know, we always kind of knew the Emperor and Palpatine and stuff like that, but it's really Maul that kind of helped set the standard for look and style, how we think about, you know, with the black colors and that kind of robe style. When we picture something like a dark side, you know, it doesn't have, you know, a dark sider in Star Wars and a lot of fans. We picture maybe different types of black robes, or, you know, little pieces of armor or whatever, like Revan or something like that famous design, even though he's kind of a light and dark character. But the Sith version, Maul is what set the standard. The Emperor, because Vader was, you know, big hulking robot man kind of thing. So, and the Emperor had the robes, but Maul was the first non-robot, like older man character where we saw. So his final design kind of set in people's minds, what is the basic look or style?
Right, the black robes, like you associate that with the Sith Lord. So yeah, I definitely think at the end of the day, it was smart for them.
I do like this look, though. Don't get me wrong. I actually like the general look to it with the robes and everything. I think if this was like if it was, I don't know, you know how they had talked about or something, you know, George Lucas' episode, like his sequel trilogy. where Maul had been kind of the new Sith Lord, you know, the master kind of, where he maybe had somebody like Darth Talon or something. But think about what if this had been, now not exactly Maul, but what if he had like a bodyguard, like 3 or 4, like in the trilogy, dark side, kind of dark Jedi, not maybe Sith exactly, but dark Jedi, like bodyguards or something, who were Iridonians. Like he had Iridonian bodyguards like this, who this was their kind of outfit, like his 4, like, you know, I don't know, his 4 champions or something. They had maybe not all this color, but this was like the style of robes they had serving under Maul, and they were trained Night Brothers or Iridonians like him who were trained in the Force. Like that would be a look almost like for one of those guys.
Yeah, I agree. And I'm curious, Lane, I'm also curious to see what this looks like with like one of the alternate like Phantom Menace sculpts or something. I think it's going to look cool. It seems like a lot of people don't like the horns, understandably so. It's just such a departure from what we're used to. And someone had asked, like, Moose says, I think the Crayola Vader is a far worse.
Well,
I like that Vader. I do like it, but it's like...
I'm more a Moose's thing for the Vader. Like, I hate that Vader. I think it looks stupid.
Moose said don't back. Yeah, and I agree. Like I said, some of the concept stuff does deserve to be an official design and just didn't make it past approvals. That's just a shame, but... 1-6 lovers. By the way, one Adam 12 in the house. We got 1-6 lovers. What's up, guys? Thank you so much for being here as always. 1-6 lover says he prefers the robe in the concept art. Yeah, I mean, like they went through multiple iterations of this character before like the final approval of what they ended up going with, and obviously, I think we all know that they made the right choice. But
can you imagine Ray Park trying to move around and how? Because that's almost, if they had made that would have been some serious, like almost Batman issue for him not being able to turn his neck or something like that. Probably.
Yeah, he's like,
he barely turned his head. So I mean,
dude,
for his action scenes couldn't have worked as well with it, because that was a lot of his movement and stuff that made those work. If he was having to wear just the neck part, leave out the robe or the body armor part, just the neck part, if it was that tight around his neck, however they made the material, a lot of it was his neck movement leaving in his body during the fight cues. He couldn't do all that stuff without having the loose robes and stuff.
Yeah, and I am very curious. I imagine they probably used like a flexible rubber. I will say though, Lane, this box this box is badass. I love the font on the Darth Maul at the bottom. This is obviously I think. And, you know, 1-6 lovers, you could probably correct me if I'm wrong. I think the Japan exclusive comes with this particular display base and the box. I think, unless, because I know they goofed originally and they put, like, the first reveal, it had skin-colored hands from Galen, and it had the Galen Urso display base on, like, the photo with all the accessories and everything. They did end up, like, redacting it and posting a photo later, like, updating it. But I think, unless that photo threw me off, I think the Japan exclusive comes with this box art and that stand. I don't know about the stand for sure. I know about the box art, but I don't know about the stand.
Well, it's got celebration stuff on the stand there on the printing, doesn't it?
Does it? That I don't know. I mean, nothing that I could see, but I don't know. I could be wrong, but that's what I think.
That's cool. I like the circular stand style, like, you know, the Anakin and stuff, the artisan Anakin. They started.
Yeah, I really like them too. It's the height. I feel bad for people that have DTOFs because it kind of makes it a little bit more difficult to fit them. But I do like them. It's much better than like a.
Just don't have a Darth Vader, man. You'll be okay.
That's true.
Don't have a Darth Vader 16 inches tall.
Yeah, guys, I put up a poll. I imagine it's gonna. The poll is: are you going to be picking this up? I imagine it's going to be a resounding no. But please vote in the poll because I'm very curious. But Lane, we're going to move on from this. I do have some photos, and these are not my photos, so shout out to those who took these photos. A couple people that have showed up to Toy Sapiens to kind of check it out. As of right now, this is our Star Wars Celebration lineup.
That is an interesting lineup.
Yeah, and there is, Lane, and I have to pull up my tab here.
Mm-hmm.
The words used by... What are you doing, camera? That was weird. The words used by store employees when asked, I should say the word was something amazing, is the final 1-6 item for Celebration. Have they said a gold stormtrooper was amazing in the past? Probably. So it could be anything. But essentially the store employees were very vague, but they did say like it's going to be something amazing, and in their opinion, it was the best reveal yet. So this is what we have right
I
now.
mean, you can only, except maybe for the Galen, you can really go up mostly.
Yeah.
I will say, seeing this in person here, I didn't realize that robe, like the armor robe thing, that thing is really yellow. You didn't really realize it quite as much, but
Oh,
that
for
is,
Maul?
yeah, that is
Yeah.
really yellow. That is almost like banana yellow.
Let's see. 16 Lover said, so he's confirming this for us, Lane. The regular base version does have the rectangular base. That is cool. You know, I like that there's some exclusive stuff for people that are actually, yeah, the 18 exclusives. I remember that. Like I said, when that photo came out, I'm like, I am not showing that photo.
Like
that's BS.
half this year is exclusive, I think. Like,
yeah.
Or no, I went through with somebody, what is the number of exclusives we've had just this year? This year so far. Like 33%, almost a third of all the releases have been exclusives.
You know, Lane, I hate to say it, I love limited stuff. I think it makes the hobby fun. Yeah. It sucks because, you know, especially for me, I want all this Japan stuff, and so that is actually from Hot Toys. Most of those slots are actually are filled at this point by like Cos Babies and exclusive merch. That wasn't only 1/6 stuff. So I think a lot of people got confused with that because there's some misinformation kind of being shared around because people weren't quite sure. It's not all 1/6 stuff. There's only a slot for one more 1/6 item because the rest of the stuff is all filled in on the chart. So it's going to be one more 1/6 item, but the 18 thing, it wasn't all. It was mostly a Cos Babies and shirts and keychains and stuff like that.
I will say from this.
Yes, correct, Chris.
I never thought that I would actually see, you know, come home from work day Stormtrooper, because that looks like he's got like the night coat or something on the kimono.
Yeah, I do.
Weird.
Yeah, I do really like it. I think it's dope, but yeah, a lot of people are making jokes about it. Gilbert, to answer your question, I think their strategy for that, if I had to guess, is going to be let's release these instant ready to go units at Celebration first, and then the pre-order follows Celebration weekend. So or maybe probably a short pre-order they'll do for it. Yes, exactly. That's what I expect.
Do you think that Vader and stuff is going to? I can see the Stormtrooper just being this event because that's
all of them so far but Galen have been announced to be available in other versions on Sideshow. So we'll have the Stormtrooper with no Hayori, however you pronounce it. The Vader will be coming without a special box, so it has a special box for Celebration. The Maul will be coming without the stand and the special box. Nothing for Galen. So as of right now, Galen is only limited to 1,500, and that's it. So here he goes again with this Jedi Starfighter, dude. Hey,
could you imagine 30 of them? So it's settled in a death match for 30 people. Survivors get them.
Right.
Well, it could be. I mean, that's the other oh boy, could you imagine? Oh my God, can you imagine if they did like the 212 Airborne Trooper, but it's like exactly like Galen, it's like 1,200 or something in Japan for the event, and that's it.
That would be wild.
Can you imagine how many people here would? We know a certain individual who would lose his mind. He'd be like, "How much? Where do I get it?" It's like trying to chuck you over to Japan to try and go pick it up.
Pretty much. Jazzy says, "What's up, baby boys?" That's crazy, Jazzy. Jazzy, you can only call me a baby boy if you add to the figure fund. Otherwise, you can't call me baby boy. Just kidding. You're my little guy. It's all right, Jazzy. You're my little guy. What's up, Jazzy? I hope you're doing well, my friend. Thank you so much for being here, as always. We're just taking a look at the currently announced Celebration exclusives. I know you're not a big Star Wars guy, so you probably don't care one bit, but don't you worry. We have some non-Star Wars stuff to talk about at the end of the stream. Maybe a particular Pokemon trainer, perhaps. Clone Trooper says, I'd be surprised if Hot Toys announced any vehicles, while 104% tariffs are scaring people off. Yeah, I mean, I don't think Hot Toys is scared of facing anything at this point. They just have their business locked down so well. I'm not worried about that personally, but who knows? OG Fan says, I like the limited availability of exclusives. It's nice to know that no matter how many people have so many of the same Hot Toys, only exactly, you know, and everybody's going to have different thoughts on it. I totally get it. But for me, I like limited stuff. I think it makes the hobby fun. I totally, you know, I totally understand when people get upset when they miss out on something because we all love this stuff, but it is what it is. We got some photos here. Again, shout out to whoever's photos they are. If you search 16 Republic, that's where these photos were taken. So big shout out to them. I think there's actually a picture of the guy who took these in his little slideshow. Excuse me, I just spit all over my lip. Dude, Galen, I cannot wait to get these, man. I'm very, very excited to get this Galen for sure. I think he looks awesome. Kaiju was telling me that he actually wasn't a fan of this Vader in person, and I was like, dude, maybe I'll get it and it'll suck balls, but I really want it. It's a Vader, and I actually really dig it. Kaiju kind of said it's like Mondo cell shading, which I like. I like the cell shading aspect of Mondo. I just don't like the visible joints, so I think I'll probably like this. I like gaudy stuff like that. I think Lane is the baby boy, right, Jazzy? If we had to assign the baby boy title, would it be Lane? Because he's just a sweet baby boy. Or maybe Chris. We'll give it to Chris. Chris is the sweet baby boy.
Chris would be the baby boy because he is like one of the most junior.
Yeah, he is the little guy. So we'll give it. Chris is the baby boy. But thank you so much, OG fan, for the $2 super chat. You are too kind, my friend. Dookie Vader. Come on, dude. Don't do the Crayola Vader like that. That's crazy, man. Dookie, there's no brown, man.
Hey, the thing is, though, I'm guessing, is this probably using the probably Kenobi Vader as the basis for it?
It's hard to tell because with the helmets, there's such subtle differences. Like the Kenobi Vader has that silver neck and like obviously the red lenses. It's hard to tell. Like,
and it might be hard to tell because they've got coloring on it.
Exactly. I was gonna say like the coloring's kind of throwing me off. I'd have to look at it closely.
I mean, it's either probably Kenobi or Return. It's probably one of those.
Yeah, but it does have a nylon suit though. That is clear as day. This is a full nylon suit. It's like a Columbia like rain jacket material.
This still kills me. We're seeing this, but why doesn't the artisan Anakin have a nylon suit?
Yeah,
or something.
Trust me. We got Big Dog Pound in the house. Big Dog Pound, I don't know if I missed your grand entrance, but if I did, this is for you. Woo! What's up, Big Dog Pound? We don't have Chris with his little belt today. Like I said, he's been running late at work today. So thank you, Mr. J, for being a fan with me of this Vader. He said this Vader's pretty sick. Yeah, it's not going to be for everybody. Trust me. I totally get it. Yes, this is not to put him on the blast, but shout out to this gentleman here for taking these photos, and he looks like he's having such an awesome time, so I'm very happy for him. I love that picture. Made me smile. I'm like, okay, this guy's having a blast.
I do have to say, the more I look at the one thing, because I can see certain things with this figure that I go, this is going to make it probably annoying to pose, or I go, just leaving out the general design. But one thing it looks like they have in there that I really like is it looks like there's a ton of wiring in like the lower parts and everything. So you can totally, like, all of that look, I'm guessing is wired. So you can, even some of the moles haven't had that, where you can actually pose up and put out.
I think a lot of Jedi/Sith characters haven't had enough wiring. So yeah, that's
and this looks like it's got a pretty good thing. So that if you want to get where he may not be able to go into superposes, but you can fake it kind of with the posing of the clothes. I really like that. That's one thing I do like with how that.
I agree. Another super chat from 12-inch Musho. I think that's our figure fun. Let me go over to my YouTube tab. Yes, I got the confetti coming down. Well, thank you guys once again, as always, for the kindness.
Thank you.
Moose says, I want my figs to be canon and provocative Urso past. I think that I'm guessing, Moose, I'm guessing you're hunting some of these down. Knowing you, there's at least one thing probably the Galen. That's probably the one that caught your eye. Boba Fettuccine in the house. Our favorite username here on the channel. Boba Fettuccine is also a channel member. Boba says, loving the newish round base. I agree, dude. This Vader is an exception, though, because I absolutely love what they did with this base here, how it kind of follows the theme. I love that like duo tone of it. I think that's really cool. But yeah, the new round bases are sick. I do like them. Like I said, I feel for those who have DTOFs, but I like them. I think they're cool.
Well, I would say Hot Toys Transformer. I mean, Star Wars has two of the favorite bases I'd like to see them use. Is that like really high maneuverable base that they're using, like with the Darth Malgus? And
I was gonna say I'm excited for that one because it actually
battle damage
moves.
Vader. Now that thing, the problem with both those figures is both the Malgus and Vader are monstrously tall. So trying to put those in the DTOF, I don't think they'll fit because they're just that's too high, and they're both like 15, 16 inches tall or something.
And Malgus
But
is going to be super tall. Yeah, he's a big guy, so that's going to be interesting
yeah,
as
he's as
well.
tall as Vader, I think, or maybe he's a
I
little
think he's
skinnier,
actually,
maybe.
I think he's slightly taller than Vader. I think they had a
Yeah, but
comparison
either one
photo.
of them are so huge. That's like big as tall as Venom
He's definitely
or
bulkier
something.
though. He's a tank.
Yeah.
Zombie says, "What's up, by the way, Zombie?" Zombie says, "I think Maul is very interesting and cool in the sense that it's a super unique and a concept art figure of all things, just not one." Exactly. That's how I feel about it. Like, do I look at it and I'm like, "That's cooler than the
Yeah.
Phantom Menace one"? No, but I think it's cool. I like concept art stuff. So
And that's part
it's
of the
for
problem
me.
is
Yeah.
it's a lot of people, we have that mall coming, the main Phantom Menace mall. Still people have
Big
coming here.
Rib.
So
Yeah. What's up,
yeah.
Big Rib? Um, Mr. J asks us, "Am I the only one that doesn't feel the new photos of Galen look like?" Mr. J, honestly, I just think it photographs very poorly in this shitty lighting that they shine on these figures. I've seen some photos of them with like a high def camera where it looks freaking incredible. Even like the Hot Toys announcement photos, I think looks pretty decent. So I just think the lighting is pretty bad. Yeah, if Hot Toys makes it look good, then.
Moose Stream, I kind of can get your point there.
Oh, so Moose actually isn't getting Galen. Are you getting any of these, Moose? Obviously, you're not getting the Vader. Yeah. I love Galen. Don't disrespect Galen, guys. No, I'm just joking. But
Well, because I have like I have the Jin, which is one of my favorite figures, except I partially broke it. The Jin Urso.
Lane broke a figure. What?
No, this was a long time ago. My Jin Urso Imp Disguise.
Oh, okay.
That was That was like over almost a year ago.
I was gonna say a couple years ago. That's pushing it, but yeah.
Well, but I can understand that. I really think a Jin Urso, like a new Jin, is something we could definitely use. Whether it's her original one, or I'm hoping we get without having had anybody say anything. I hope
Lane,
we
need Cassian. We need Cassian, and we need frickin'
Baze.
Yeah, exactly. We need Baze and Cassian. Those are the two that we're waiting for. Baze Malbus is long overdue, and even Saul Guerrero. I would love to see a Saul Guerrero. I think like that would be a very interesting hot toy.
Without a whole lot of, I mean, there's Andor, and that's basically it.
Yeah.
For live action stuff this year for Star Wars, so yeah. I cannot see unless just there's something with licensing or something where we cannot get an Andor. We don't need 15 figures like we got too many from, I think, Ahsoka. But there's no reason you can't do 2 to 3 figures from Andor.
Yeah, I expected one from the first season, and I was very surprised that we didn't get it. And I feel like if we don't get it for the second season, that's it. It's not happening.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, even like if they hadn't, done a Death Trooper specialist or something like that, which they were just reusing stuff they did before, or something.
Yeah.
But we got nothing.
By the way, what's up, Sal and David? I think I'm just seeing your comment. What's up, David? David says, "Now this action I can dig. Cherry blossom decals on a stormtrooper is fire." Yeah, I think this figure is sick. Yeah, I love this figure. I think it's awesome. I think it fits very well. And we talked about it last stream. I think this is a great Celebration Japan exclusive with the cultural references. I think it's awesome. I think it's really cool. Yes, sir. I cannot wait. I really loved the first season, and I'm very, very excited for the second season as well. But yeah, I think that's all for these photos from this gentleman here. Again, shout out to the gentleman that took these photos and the last ones I showed as well, because they were two different people. I only showed one photo from the other guy because that's all it was. But guys, we're going to move on. I always forget to close the poll, so I'm going to do that now. So guys, are you picking up that Darth Maul? 78% said no, 22% said yes. So about what I expected. But what are you going to do?
And some more people might like it after they see it actually, some people like Justin or others get it in hand, unbox it, and you can really look at it. They may not track down this exclusive, that version of it, but when they have the sideshow version or something, they might be willing to give it a look. It depends the price point too.
Yeah.
If it's super expensive, they might go for it.
Yeah, that's true. And everybody's talking about Krennic. Peyton's bringing up Krennic, 1/6 lover. Ben Mendelsohn, it does look pretty old in comparison in the new. I mean, he's not a spring chicken, but he does look a little bit older. So it will be interesting. I think they'll probably do another figure of him, but it's not going to be the same Rogue One look that we got previously. But yeah, he does look a considerable amount older. So I think that's a good, coping mechanism for us who have the current Krennic, because he's not going to look exactly the same. Dude, Saul Guerrero would be sick. Like the whole like tubing with the breathing mask. I mean, maybe he doesn't have that yet if he shows up in the second season of Andor, but that would be really cool. Kaiju asked, though, is Andor the only live-action Star Wars outside of the Ewok movies to not give us a 1/6 figure? Potentially, yeah. That's a very deep thing to think about on the spot. I'm not sure. Potentially, though, off the top of my head, Kenobi, Ahsoka, all 3 Mando seasons we got stuff.
Had something.
Maybe.
Rogue, all the movies we got something.
All the movies are at least one figure. Maybe you might be right, Kaiju. That's crazy to think about. Actually, no, we didn't get anything from the pile of crap. Why am I blanking?
Rise of Skywalker?
No, the most recent show that was a pile of crap.
Oh,
why am I
blanking?
The Acolyte, exactly.
About...
Yeah, I'm tripping.
No Acolyte and
Acolyte and Skeleton Crew. Yeah, no Skeleton Crew either. So prior to Acolyte and Skeleton Crew, you would be right. Yes.
So Disney Plus stuff has fallen off.
So lately, Disney's tired of losing money, I guess.
But this is no losing money on this figure.
I don't know why you want Moose. Moose wants his Krennic to be splashed in poop.
Well,
okay, Acylite. There we go.
Yeah.
But guys,
what a butthole he is.
Yeah. Guys, we're gonna talk about Frank Dux, Lane. Of course, Lane, I already pre-ordered this one because I was very excited for this one.
He's the best fictional character who had a story made about him, a movie made about him.
Yes, and there's a lot of rumors that, well, I guess they're not really rumors, but apparently the real Frank Dux was full of shit, and he's been called out.
Well, that's what I mean. He's
times.
the best.
Yeah.
He's the best made-up character who had a made-up story made about him.
Right. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they snuck out that Master Soul, especially because they did the Gi-Hun figure. You know, they're working with the actor already. Yeah. Who knows? Who knows? And I wouldn't, honestly, I might be on the fence about grabbing a Soul just because that was like the only thing I liked about the show, really.
Well, you think about it, if you could find the right Jedi robes or something, even if it doesn't match up exactly, if the head connector, where even for one of, if you had even an extra Obi-Wan or something like that, where you could do like a kind of a short hair Kit Bash, version.
That's true. Dude, Eric's in the house, a channel member and a good friend. What's up, Eric? Eric says,
I really like the body.
Bloodsport.
I really like the body. The body for this one and everything, the detail and everything is really well done.
Yeah, Pedro. I'm sure that would be just an absolute hit. But yeah, so yeah, Lane, talking about the Bloodsport figure. So there's 3 versions of this. What we're looking at now is the exclusive version. A couple things to note. You know, Lane mentioned the body. This is a fully custom medical grade silicone body. So some people have been comparing this to Fison bodies. Fison bodies are not medical grade silicone. So I understand where you're drawing the comparison because they're in a similar market, but this is like the best you can get when it comes to seamless body technology at this time. So this is medical grade silicone and it's painted. You know, you could see the.
I'm not gonna lie, that head sculpt is kind of weird.
I mean, does it look weird? Yes, but is it accurate? Also, yes. Like when you compare it, it's just an interesting choice for an expression.
Yeah, and I'm not going to say it's for that kind of open mouth yelling pose expression. I don't think it's any worse than say like that Ahsoka, the white yelling pose, like facial sculpt. You know, it's not like it looks like that's a finished one that still looks not the best, but you can still see the actor in it. Same thing for that one, that Kaustic Plastik. I still see Van Damme there.
Yeah, like that open mouth sculpt, perfect. It kind of reminds me of like, you know, when he gets the powder thrown in his eyes at the end and he's like freaking out and he starts screaming when he's like throwing moves at him and stuff. So I think it's definitely usable. And like I said, it of course it's a bit weird, but it is accurate. It's just like an interesting expression to use. I think this is my favorite right here. The battle damage look, I really like the bruising on the face and everything. And obviously this is indicative of the final scene because that's where that's the only time he really gets beat up. Because you know, Chung Lee had to cheat to beat my boy here.
It really feels like this is like this movie really does feel like that they could do just a whole line of just the fighter guys, because they're all so unique looking and everything.
So yeah, so Caustic they've already confirmed that Chong Li is in development, which is very exciting. So at the very least, we got the two main guys that you're gonna want, which I think is pretty cool. I would love to see. I was talking to Chris about this the other day. I loved Ray, the character Ray with the Harley Davidson headband and stuff. He would be awesome as a figure. And I look at some of the other figures that Caustic has done with like big guys, like from they call me Trinity. Bambino, he's got that big body with the belly. I'm like, they could definitely make it happen. That was a big dude. Ray was a big dude.
Yeah, they could. I could see him. Just some of the fighters, like the Spanish fighter guy, who was like the last one that.
The like Muay Thai fighter that got.
Who was the one who fought like this and stuff. Like,
I
he was
forgot
the
his name.
last guy beaten before Dukes fought.
Yeah. I think he was a Muay Thai fighter. I know exactly what you're talking about. Almost like Brazilian looking. Moose Stream says, if you're going for any figure on Infinite/Caustic Plastik, use promo code Mafia to save 10%. I recommend the Infinite. Totally agree on the Infinite statue comment. And yes, Mafia's code, I think it's a one-time use code. So keep in mind, if you do use that code, it's only going to be good for one time. But yeah, definitely use that. Save yourself some money. But yeah, Infinite statues, I don't know why. I know they have two different like companies essentially working for the same goal. But I totally agree. I think the Infinite statue site works a lot better. It's easier to navigate. So just avoid the Kaustic Plastik website altogether and just go through Infinite statue. I totally agree with that. Gilbert makes a great point. Gilbert says Kaustic Plastik is the only company that don't do the same shit over and over again. Dopo, Bloodsport, Deluxe, Chong Li, you're next. I totally agree. I think what I love so much about
to get the reference there.
Yeah.
It just took me for a second.
You're next.
That Chong, like, I think that was like the third line Chong Li said the whole movie.
Right. One of the very few lines that he says throughout the movie. I totally agree. Something that I really admire about Fabio from Kaustic Plastik is he is hell-bent on not reissuing stuff, not doing additional runs. And for a lot of us who have felt the sting of 2.0s and old figures losing their value because new one comes out, which obviously sometimes is a good thing when new versions come out. But Fabio is like, we're confident, that we put out the best product we can and we're not going to redo it. So I love to see that. I love that he doesn't fall to the pressure when people are like that vampire medallion. Trust me, that was such an awful thing to hunt down for me because I was way late to it. I ended up finding one. I'm very grateful that I did. But people were begging and begging for that, and it's just a little medallion necklace for the Bela Lugosi Dracula. And people begged and begged for him to reissue it, and they will not do it, which I love. And if you look on eBay at a lot of their sold-out stuff, you'll see how much that benefits you as someone who pre-ordered it or bought it when it was in stock, because a lot of this stuff sells for an absolute mint on the secondary market, which, in the time of a lot of stuff like basic figures not selling for a lot and oftentimes losing money if you go to sell it, it's a good thing, and it makes you feel good about it. And I'm looking at my Nosferatu exclusive, web exclusive, that's selling for $1,200+ on eBay, and I just smile at it because I'm like,
he's Anakin level,
right? I bought this out of pure love for the character, and to see it become so valuable is just cool to me, And it sucks for those who are late to the game. I totally get it, but I like the collectability of things, I guess I'll say.
I will say, it was this kind of look and stuff was, I think, last week, and maybe one of the funniest figure memes that I had seen, because it was him having superimposed, holding the artisan Anakin, and like having his fist up and screaming face. And I responded, that's him letting you know if you try and grab his figure, he'll break boards, aka your arms, if you try and take it.
Moose, unless that is a new change, I saw Fabio saying that it was a one-time use code. Like, there was a whole comment string. So if you've personally tested and it works twice, then I redact my statement. But I saw Fabio himself and Mafia, they were all saying it was a one-time use code. But if it's not, that's awesome. Ghost Rider, no. But Fabio did say that, as per usual, the web exclusive, since there's only 200 of them, it will be hand-numbered And the web exclusive always gets exclusive art just for the web exclusive version on the art box, which is really cool. I have a lot of the web exclusive stuff, and it's always awesome to see like the hand numbering on the back. You don't see that a lot anymore, so it's really cool to see. You break my record, now I break you. Yeah, dude. This movie is just such a timeless classic. I'll read some more comments, guys, but just to point out, I think the only head sculpt here that has the rolling eyeballs is the default head sculpt. The other two have a fixed expression on, which is fine. I mean, I think that's a fair compromise. I mentioned this in my video that I did on this figure. I would love to see, like, maybe Chong Li include the board where the names are constantly flipping for who's facing who. I would love to see that maybe come with Chong Li. I don't know if that's asking for too much, but that'd be very clever. At the very least, they got to give us that platform. Infinite Statue actually did a 1/10 scale statue of Chong Li and Frank facing off at the end on that like curved platform. So it'd be really cool if Chong Li came with that. Just saying. Just saying. And like I said, Lane,
the exclusive for the web, that would be perfect.
Yes, it would be really cool, and I think it's doable. Maybe not the entire thing, but you could just do the platform. Yeah, like I said, Lane, it's a goofy looking head sculpt, but it's accurate. This is what he looks like. And someone made a comment about the teeth. This is what his teeth looked like. Like, it's pretty freaking good, like, in terms of accuracy.
I just feel like this is the alternate thing he would have done when he did during his dancing and kickboxer, when he double kicked the guys and he tore out the back of his pants.
Yeah. Chong Li was ruthless, bro. Chong Li was ruthless, man.
Yeah.
He, like, snapped necks, kicked the dude's bone out of his leg. Yes, 16 Lovers is talking about the new animated series, the new Predator animated series. That it looks awesome. I saw some people talking crap about the Predator design. I'm like, dude, it's like its own thing. I think he's cool. He looks like a mythical creature or something. I'm excited for it. I think it looks awesome. I'm really, really excited. Yeah, right? I think that would be really cool. And yes, thank you, Robert. Zach from Collecting Weekly. Shout out to Zach. You guys know we love Zach over here. That's my boy. I worked with Zach. I do have the Kaustic Plastik one, but I helped him in scaling the Vampire Medallion. So he sent me the prototype, and I'm like, well, it needs to be about this much smaller. And I sent him photos side by side. So he got it probably pretty spot on to the exact size. And I'll be honest with you, the detail on his was better than the Kaustic one. I felt like the Kaustic one looked pretty soft in comparison to the prototype. So shout out to Zach on that. If you guys need that, it's definitely a great, great way to get that. And it's not hard, Robert, you did it yourself. You just find a ribbon, you kind of cross the ribbon over, and you're good to go. Yes, that's actually what we were just talking about. Thank you for the name of it. It's Killer of Killers. And yeah, it looks amazing. I'm very, very excited to check it out. If you guys know me, you guys know I love Predator stuff. What is going on in my camera? It never does that. Stop it. Sorry, guys. I'm also going to jump to some of the... Oh, by the way, there's another comment I wanted to address on the body. The custom body is being sold by itself, and I wanted to pull this up because I really liked this comment here from SJC, because I saw someone had mentioned with the body they wish it was fully seamless because they wanted to use this for an Arnold figure, and it's not nearly big enough for Arnold. Number one, Arnold is
huge.
6'2", and I think Jean-Claude Van Damme is 5'10", so considerably taller than him. And also, body type is different, like Lane said, even in Terminator 2, where he was obviously considerably slimmed down compared to his Olympia days, still much more bulky than Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Yeah.
But yes, SJC, again, going off of your point, I think this is extremely clever and very smart for them to do a separate crotch area, so you're not putting that pressure on the silicone body where you think it's going to tear. Because I love my iconic Street Fighter figures, but you do feel very it's like cringy when you pose the legs because you can't see what's going on in there, and it could potentially rip. This is going to take that pressure off, and it's going to give you a lot more maneuverability in that hip area. So this is very clever, a very smart decision in my opinion.
Real quick, check.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I just saw that. So Mike wants to jump in with us. I'm actually pretty excited about that because Mike wasn't going to be making it here, but I guess he just couldn't resist us, Lane. We were just having too much fun without him. I think that's what it is, Lane.
He's like, they will not have fun without me.
Right. By the way, guys, 51 people still watching. Old Lane and I, we very much appreciate it.
That or
If you
he's
haven't
got a
already,
new
guys.
Wolverine cosplay look that he wanted to show off.
Maybe. You know what it is? He heard me talking about the Predator show. That's why he wants to jump in. Yeah, that's actually not a bad idea. Look, what I love about this, so guys, the retail on this one is $124.99, which a lot of people are probably going to be like, that's a little expensive. I don't think it is. It's painted. This is a painted body. It's ready to go. You got abdominal shading, muscle shading. The nipples are painted. Like, all that stuff is painted, so you're good to go. I don't know why I specifically mentioned the nipples, but they are. They're painted. Yeah. That's going to be sick. If Hot Toys did that Predator, I'd be overjoyed. Be totally overjoyed. I saw a comment from Jose. Jose said, you think they can make another Claude Van Damme character with these extra heads and that extra body they were selling? Yeah, Kickboxer. I think a lot of people. I think that's a potential from Caustic. Actually, I know you're asking about which yes, to answer your question, yes, I think you absolutely could. But I could see Caustic doing Kickboxer stuff. Why not? They've already made the body, and I think I remember someone asking about Kickboxer, and Fabio seemed to kind of perk up. So I could see it.
Just need him and Tong Po.
Right? Exactly. Flavio in the house. What's up, Flavio's House of Collectibles? What's up, dude? Guys, if you haven't already, check out Flavio's been pumping out some awesome reviews. Definitely head on over to his channel and check him out. He's doing some awesome stuff over there. And Flavio's just a cool dude. He said he ain't have no nipples. Yeah, Kickboxer would be sick, dude. Yes, Sal, thank you for reminding me. I do not have the photo pulled up. I should have, because they actually did update the Feral Predator. Feral Predator now has thinner dreads that are not posable, so they actually hang naturally. And Feral Predator now has a seamless torso. That is a friggin' huge upgrade. I mean, I was very happy with the original, but I definitely prefer the seamless torso like the original Predator figures had. So yeah, that's a huge upgrade for sure. What's up, Sean, the Nightmare's Cave, aka the Hot Toys Nightmare. What's up, Sean? Thank you so much for being here, my friend. I hope you're doing well. Yeah, that Lionheart would be cool. Like I said, I think it's totally doable. I think, especially with that default head sculpt, it's just Jean-Claude Van Damme, nothing too crazy about that. But yeah, guys, I didn't go through all the versions come with. The web exclusive that we showed first, that comes with everything. The 2 gis, 3 head sculpts, 2 sets of feet. The deluxe edition only comes with 2 head sculpts. The open mouth head sculpt is actually the exclusive head sculpt. So you get the battle damage one you see here, which looks fantastic. And you get the default head sculpt with the rolling eyes. You do not get the blue gi, though. The blue gi comes with the web exclusive. Purchasing directly through Kaustic Plastik, whether it's the deluxe or the exclusive, you can get the t-shirt while supplies last. The t-shirt is actually right here, which honestly I think is one of their sickest t-shirts. And I've said this before, I never actually open the t-shirts. I just kind of keep them in the plastic as like a collectible that came with the figure, So that's pretty cool. Yeah, that's about it for Frank Dux, though, guys. Really, really exciting. Hopefully Mike gets in here before we end out. I think I sent him the link. I did. He saw it, though. Hopefully he gets in here before we end out, because this is actually our last topic of the night. And then, Lane, you did have something that you brought up that maybe we can kind of quickly discuss. Yeah, Indiana Bones says, late to the stream, glad to catch it. Came home to Lim Toys Nathan Drake at my front door. I actually have him. I don't know if you can see him over my shoulder. Let's see. Yeah, way in the back, you can kind of see him. He's right. Yeah, he's a little dark, but he's way in the back. Oh, so that's why he was late coming in, because he wanted to be Mr. Painted Nipples, dude.
Well, I heard the painted nipples talk, and I was like, this is a conversation I have to get in on, man.
I figured, dude. What's up, man? Making a mysterious appearance. We didn't think you were going to be here, dude.
Yeah, sorry. I just got home. We were having dinner at my sister's house, the kids and everything, and I raced home. I was like, I got to get in on this. So, what's up, guys? Hope you don't mind me being outside walking around.
No, dude, you're good. It's awesome to have you. I wasn't expecting you.
Yeah.
Graham in the chat. What's up, Graham, the Jedi Knights Watch? I hope you're doing well, bro. Thank you so much for being here. Yeah, this is of course, Flavio, of course. And I know, Flavio, I know you were really excited. You and Brick were excited for this figure. This is so random, right? Like,
I know. Just, hey, we're putting out an Ash Ketchum. Enjoy.
Yeah, I mean, it does look in some ways creepy, but I do like it. I think this is cool, you know.
That is kind of the art style just being done so directly.
Yeah, it's almost like a semi-realistic body, and they actually, if you look closely, it looks like the forearms are like attachable, maybe with the body that they chose. Or maybe
But no Pikachu.
Maybe single jointed. Looks like they're single jointed. Yeah,
It's
no
like
Pikachu.
really well done for the style, isn't it?
Yeah, I think this is pretty cool.
Yeah.
And there's multiple, at least face plates. I don't know if they're full head sculpts. I'd have to look at the final photo. Yeah, but this is cool though, right? And it's like, yes, it sucks they didn't do Pikachu, but how many like Pokemon collectibles are out there? You'll be able to find something that's like in similar scale. Would it be cool if they did like the OG3? Yeah, that would be sick. I'd love to see that, but
That's a good point, though. It's done in such a way that there's definitely a Pikachu that would, if you find it in the right scale, it'll match perfectly.
yeah, exactly.
He doesn't
They
have-
are single jointed arms. Yeah. I
Yeah,
see.
he doesn't wear clothes or anything, so.
Yeah, like you could find anyone that's like relatively in similar scale. But I think this is sick, dude. What's up, little Kylo Ren? Great to see you, bro. This is actually from Present Toys. It just got announced today. It is, guys. This is available, by the way, on 1/6 kit. I think it's only $145, which is a great price point. It doesn't come with that much, but you know, you get what you need. Other than the Pokemon, you get the Pokeball, you get the backpack, the signature hat and vest. Like anything you could really want with it apart from the Pokemon. I think you get the Pokedex as well. I'm pretty sure you get a Pokedex. Yes, you do. I mean, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. I mean, I like it. I think the price point is appropriate for what you get. And I think this is smart because diving into something like this, you're tapping into a massive fan base right there. And honestly, I think this is the most excited people have been for a Present Toys figure in a while. Like this got a lot of people really excited. And it's cool
for the original, especially if they maybe did, you know, Ash, Misty, and Brock, or something like the original 3 or something like that. Maybe Gary, his original rival, like they're You know, you can still, without going too deep into the weeds, you can get a pretty good amount of characters, you know?
Yeah.
Damn, Wayne, you know the Pokemon lore, huh?
Well, I used to watch,
That's awesome.
I mean, I was like 16, 17 when it started, but if you ask me what happened in the last like 23 years, I have
That's
no
right.
Yeah, there's been like how many thousands of episodes, right? It's like hard to.
Here he is, collecting madness, making it in. What's up, Chris? By the way, I'm guessing you're driving right now.
Yeah, dude. I just figured because it was the last topic. If Mike could do it, I could probably do it. So I'll be
Exactly, bro.
just in the back. It's the last topic. It's last stream before we go out.
Chris is like Pikachu. Yeah, they did do Rick and Morty. I completely forgot about that. Thank you, Sin, for reminding me.
However, real quick before you keep going, there's one thing. Even if he doesn't have the belt, there's one thing Chris has to do real quick, because if he's on here, he has to do it.
Dude, he sounds like he's flying away. He's got his windows down. He's just chilling, dude.
I know.
Chris, are you going to do an
Dog
impromptu Big Dog Pound? Like,
yeah, Big Dog Pound's been here, man. So, like, just comment it. He just,
so I basically what I could say is I'm jet flying, limousine riding all the way home, baby, trying to collect some Jean-Claude Van Damme booty cheeks in the collection. Woo!
In painted nipple time. I would say probably collecting madness just for you, Big Dog Pound. He's busy being the limousine driver for the guy going to his house, probably more like. But
hold on,
hey, it's good you could do it.
Let me pull up. Sorry, I had to answer this question. Indiana Bones. It depends on the figure. I've had really good experiences with the Present Toys. Some I've been like, it's just okay, you know. But generally speaking, like if I rank like amongst the worst third-party figures I bought, I don't think any of those are under Present Toys. You know what I mean? Like I think generally speaking, like they deliver pretty decent stuff. Like the Ghost Rider was awesome. The Blade with a body swap was excellent. You know, full real leather. And they've done a lot of stuff that no other company's ever going to do. Like, you know, the fact that I have 3 Daniel Day-Lewis figures in my collection, but 2 Gangs of New York figures, 2 different looks. That's awesome. I got a Daniel Plainview figure from another company, but they just do really unique stuff. And like someone mentioned, they do Rick and Morty. We got Ash Ketchum here. Guys, I got a bit of a surprise for you. I had to delete his comment really quick because I didn't want him to spoil it, but I can't mute him because they chose to mute themselves. But here, I'll move Indiana Bones out of the way so we could see who's here. Can you hear us, Nightmare's Cave?
Nightmare.
Good soldiers follow orders.
All right, what's up, dude?
Sean's making an appearance. Sean, we miss you, my friend. I've told you many times we miss you.
Miss you, dog.
I hope you're
What's
doing
up,
well,
man?
dude. I ran over so fast when I saw your Facebook message. I didn't even see it at first. And I pulled up my Facebook because I saw a ding from someone else. I'm like, oh, crap, Sean messaged me. Sean,
That's
you were
great.
super excited to talk about Pikachu, huh?
No, not really, but I was willing to come on and say hi with everyone. So Pikachu can do whatever. I'm just here for everyone in the audience, everyone on camera, and collecting madness, driving wherever it is he's going.
Well, Sean, he's never going to top you streaming from the hospital bed. So, yeah, it's cool that he's in his car, but I think that's unbeatable.
You know, I think, you know how he could top it is if he, during a live stream and his wife is giving birth and he's right there with her and
don't
she's
think we
yelling in
want
the
that,
background
Sean.
to get off that thing. I think that would top it.
Well, yeah, I would agree with that. I would also say, Chris, are you make sure you're going to be doing a lot of repaying for that. Probably.
I told you, Connor says if we're not on, he's gonna make us pay for it. All right.
Yeah,
I know.
streamed
I wasn't
from
gonna
urgent care, but nothing will ever top Sean from the hospital. Like that's
Yeah.
dedication.
Lane,
Yeah,
I wasn't gonna
OG
say anything. I was gonna say, like, you know, I just came on just out of the goodness of my heart, but like Connor sends some nasty threats, bro, and he really scares the hell out of you when you want to, you know, when you can't make a show.
Yeah, Mike's like this with his phone. He's like booting up StreamYard. He's like,
No, you,
um,
yeah, you know those memes where it's like if you turn the camera this way, there's like a guy standing next to me.
yeah, so it's me. I'm like this in the background.
Like you can't see me on camera, so
Yeah.
I'm driving. But he said last topic, so I'm like shaking, holding the camera. You know?
Man,
Hey, can I just say something real quick?
Absolutely.
So I have it. You didn't hear from me, but for those Predator fans, I heard you talk about that, the animated thing coming out. A little bit of a spoiler, but there are many Predators in it, and NECA will be making them. So that's very exciting.
Dude, that show looks freaking sick. It reminded me of Star Wars Visions in a way, and I'm like, dude, this is gonna be so sick, man. I cannot wait.
And these are supposedly some of the coolest Predator designs ever.
Yes,
So,
I saw not a lot of people, but I saw a couple of people like, that's not what the Predator is supposed to look like. It's like, dude, it's clearly stylized for this show. Like, it doesn't have to look exactly like it looks on screen. It's an animation.
Right.
I think he looks badass. Like, he looks like a mythological creature, which is kind of what they're going off of in that trailer. It's like a, you know, this being that's known to be like the greatest warrior, and he's faced many great warriors. Like, I think it's cool, man. I'm really excited.
Yeah, it's definitely cool.
Real quick, OG
Okay.
fan always. I feel like every time OG fan donates, he's always digging at Lane, and I love it. OG fan says, Lane, quit stepping on the lead. LOL. OG fan, thank you so
I'm
much.
only
my
hot
friend, for the
stepping where I'm
super
supposed
chat.
to be stepping.
Right. Sal says Connor, aka Baba. Yeah, you can't see Chris, but his face right now, because he was so late to the stream, his face looks like that battle damage sculpt for the Frank Dux because he was playing with me. I said, you better be here on time. And he shows up over an hour late, so that's what he looks like.
Well, I'm just like Mike and stuff is like looking over his shoulder to see something you zap out for a second, and just from out of nowhere.
Well, that's
you
why I
get
have
RKO'd.
Sean here, dude. Sean's going to show up at your house.
Hot Toys Hotline RKO'd into next week.
I hope not, dude. Molly, to answer your question, by the way, what's up, Molly? I do have an Apex Time in my collection. I did a short video on it. I do have a long video that I filmed like a bunch of stuff on, and I haven't uploaded it. It's been sitting on my phone for months. I'll get around to doing that eventually, because I still have to finish the last part. But I think they're awesome. I think the lighting options are fantastic. I have the Chaos Ultra, not the mirrored version. I think figures look cooler in the mirrored version, but the Chaos Ultra and all the lighting settings are really awesome. So they're pricey, but there are places that sell them a bit cheaper than like getting them direct from Apex Time. I think they're fantastic. Like I said, watch my if you have time, watch my YouTube short that I did on. I think it's a really cool case, and I love all the lighting options. And yeah, I saw Adam just picked one up as well for his Artisan Anakin, so he'll be able to share his thoughts on it as well. Yes, guys, please check out Sean's channel, now the Nightmare's Cave, formerly the Hot Toys Nightmare, but always the Hot Toys Nightmare to us over here, just like Evil Sneaker is never going away. But yeah, Sean's been doing some videos and updates on his collection over there, and he's got some crazy displays, guys, with all the, like, how many walkers do you have, Sean, at this point? 4 or 5?
I have 4 ATRTs. I have 6 bark speeders.
That's
3
crazy,
of them
dude.
have the sidecar.
That's crazy.
So with one of the regular bark speeders, I've been going through working on all the Rebel clones from the Bad Batch. So I'm almost done with the last one, putting all the tactical gear and everything on it. But I have Captain Hauser on one of the bark speeders because there was that scene where he was going after the assassin in the bark speeder.
Mm.
So I got Captain Hauser on that with the chest rig and all the pouches and the 2 holsters on the thighs. So,
That's
but watch
cool.
once I'm finally done and everything,
Sean's
then
my
Hot Toys
inspiration.
is going to announce them. Then Hot Toys is going to announce them, and I'll be pissed.
Yeah, because you've been doing all those customs and everything, so that would suck if, like, I mean, I'm really hoping for 41st, especially with the Revenge of the Sith anniversary. I'm hoping they do, like, Gree and especially, like, the Kashyyyk versions. I would just love, that's
Yeah,
like a dream
I want
display,
that
just, like,
green.
yeah, like, have
Me
Yoda
too.
doing a backflip, cutting his head off. That'd be sick, man.
It would be awesome if we got a piece that had, like, the neck, where it showed the neck was cut off, and we could replace that and put it on there.
That would be pretty sick.
or like
With
yeah,
the
or like
amount
a
of
clear.
beheadings in Star Wars.
I know, especially like Mace Windu. Like,
No,
imagine
they
like a
should give you
clear
stuff like
piece,
that.
a clear piece that goes onto the neck, and it kind of like arcs, so like the helmet attaches to the back of it, so it looks like it's flying off his head. Like, that'd be really cool.
Oh yeah, that'd
That's
be
such
sick.
a badass scene.
Because there's
dude.
no
Like,
blood.
yeah, it's such a badass scene. I would love to replicate that. And I've seen people do like customs too, of like Yoda stabbing the lightsaber into the clone's chest, like using like the old Sideshow clones.
Yeah,
that would be really sick.
Well,
Right, there's
Sideshow made a statue
of
like
that
that.
too. I think there was a statue at that moment.
Yeah.
Right. That's what I was
there
thinking
was
of,
a
the Sideshow
statue. Yeah, there was a Sideshow statue, and I saw this. I can't remember his name. He made a custom with like the Sideshow figure, like the 6-scale figure, and it was really dope.
me and 1/6 lovers were talking about like all those troopers that they need to do, and I was saying Commander Gree because I'm so shocked that they have not done that one yet.
I know. Yeah, I mean, like I said, now more than ever, I feel like with the Revenge of the Sith anniversary, like I feel like it's a good time to bust out the 41st. I mean, they've already disrespected us enough, not doing the 1/12 scale or 1/12 scale. I'm literally looking at a comment from somebody about 1/12 scale. Not doing the 1/6 scale 2/12 troopers, and you know we've had Cody for I don't know how long. What has been 3 years now since Cody came out? At least 3 years, right? And they've done no 2/12 Airborns, no 2/12 regular clone troopers.
Yeah.
Like they're selling the bag on that one because a lot of people, and you know, Sean, I'm sure you would probably buy a shit ton of those. I know a lot of people would.
Of course I would.
Yeah, I mean that's a shame. I mean it's like when is a good time for that? It's Revenge of the Sith anniversary. Start cranking them out. I feel like we'll get plenty of clones this year, though. I really do. I think they'll come probably maybe middle to the end of the year, but I think we'll get plenty of clones this year.
I also think too with this year, people who missed out on the bark speeder, I wouldn't be surprised if that gets announced again with Commander Neo.
Yeah,
and I wouldn't be surprised. And that's
Well, what
the
about
only way you can get Commander Neo.
So what were you saying?
Sean, what about the ones they showed from Ahsoka?
Yeah, that would be awesome too. The sidecar with all the drawings and everything on it.
Yeah.
That would be awesome. But me personally, this is just my thought, is that because of the 20th anniversary, they can do a whole bunch of clone stuff without head sculpts. Because the only one in Revenge of the Sith, you know, we saw a couple of them, but that's really it of the 212. So unless they give us the guy that's blonde, with Commander Cody's head sculpt, I think we're good. And then just give us a whole bunch of clones like the 212th, the 212th Deluxe, at least Commander Gree. I wouldn't be surprised if they did an announcement for the ATRT with the driver, and then they add, because if you watch Revenge of the Sith, the ATRT's in there. They have a rifle rack for the long rifle and the short rifle, the E11. They have rifle racks holding both of them.
That'd be so sick. That's one thing I miss. And Sean, we've talked about this many times in the past. Is like Sideshow and all the random little accessory stuff they used to do, and like accessory pieces, like like the cantina table and chairs, and like it'd be cool if they started doing stuff like that again. Like the Sideshow Yoda hut. Like they did so many random little things, and it'd be cool to have like weapon racks for the troopers and stuff like that. Like, and that's not something Hot Toys has really ever done. The most they've done is like the IG-12 that comes with all the little build-up pieces for all the other characters. So I'd be all for that if they did weapon racks. That'd be so sick. But I know some third-party companies have done those in the past, but I never ended up picking them up, which I wish I should have. But I know to kind of end out the stream here, Lane had a good thought of like maybe some and the spider droid, and like Chris got the Palpatine on that spider walker that Sideshow did years ago. But Lane, to end out the stream here, I know you had a kind of a quick little topic, and that was like, with all this stuff, like 5 exclusives plus the Grogu coming out for Star Wars Celebration from Hot Toys, like what can we expect for May 4th? Is it going to be like a lighter May 4th? Like, I don't know, Lane, it's been tough the past few years. I think we can all agree. Like it's been tough to kind of
made it hard to figure it out because May the 4th
exactly
last year was kind of when we have had as many around May the 4th, but we had the Dark Side event was like within the 2-week time frame or something during that date, around this time last year. And it's not exactly the same thing, but it's kind of the same thing this year with all the exclusives with, what do you call it? The Star Wars event this year over in Japan.
Celebration,
Celebration, yeah. So I do think we'll see at least a couple, like Revenge of the Sith specific themed releases. But some of the big ones they put out last year, like Grievous, we not seen like Grievous and Palpatine and stuff, which probably would have been ones we would have said, oh, that's definitely got to be one of the top possibilities this year, but we may get them this year. Actually at some point, so that wouldn't be so bad. But I just wonder, because they've got all these and they're going to put those up for pre-order probably in the next couple of weeks on Sideshow, probably by the end of the month.
I imagine like those will pop up probably after people at Celebration get theirs, and then Sideshow will probably follow right after Celebration and put those pre-orders up.
They could be going up the same week of the week of the 4th. But we're gonna. I think we'll see.
What about?
I would say the week after Celebration.
Sorry, guys, I'm on a delay.
Oh, you're good. You're good.
Now I was gonna say, what do you guys think about like for May 4th? You think maybe we'll get some more? What do you call it? It's the 25th anniversary right now. The Phantom Menace, right?
Revenge of the Sith is the anniversary this year.
Yeah, but they didn't really do. Wasn't it supposed to be?
Yeah, they didn't do much for Phantom Menace last year. I'm hoping
what did they do? One figure?
They did.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. The Jar Jar, and then
they're always behind on anniversary. So
the battle droids, maybe.
The droidica, the destroyer droid, was specific.
Oh right.
Maul was kinda, but that was also a dark side event.
Yeah, they did Maul.
Right.
Attack of the Clones, they went all out. Like, because even
9
the 40th,
figures, bro,
like
9
Empire
figures.
and stuff, or Return of the Jedi, they did like fair.
That Jar Jar better pop back up. I thought he looked really awesome. I really want that one, so I'm hoping he pops back up. I think he will, but I
want those sand-colored battle droids too. Like, doing the Geonosis ones, like, and not giving us the kind of generic, more popular ones is weird.
Yeah, and they showed
Dude,
the
they teased
Geonosis
those.
ones, or yeah, they showed the tan colored ones so many times too. Yeah, on the speeder and everything.
Also, Connor, I think Peyton might have been, as far as the spider droid. Like, I know I got the walking thing that
No, I know he's talking
Palpatine walks
about.
in.
I was
I
just
think
kind
he's
of
talking about when the
no.
212th ran up on top of it and was like shooting it in that scene.
Yeah, no, I was just kind of adding on him saying
Oh
that
yeah.
reminded me because I was talking about like all the sideshow pieces. I know what he's talking about. I was just kind of adding on like, oh yeah, and then another sideshow piece is like that accessory that you have. I was just kind of adding on to that. But yeah, Lane, you make a great point. We've had years where we get 5 items, and then last year we got 2. So it's like, what's going to happen this year? I don't know. I would love to say, like, balls to the wall. They're going to give us the Dark Side Anakin Artisan. They're going to give us a new Obi-Wan. They're going to give us this, that, and the other. I don't know. I would love to, a random one that I would love to see would be, like, Newt Gunray. I think that would be sick if we got a Newt Gunray. I don't know if that many people would want that one, but I thought he was hilarious and unintentionally hilarious. Yeah, No! Like, it would be unique and different, and I would love to see that. And I think that would be A+ from Hot Toys. They're good at alien
He's not
sculpts.
allowed to get away with that. That's not what's supposed to happen.
Yeah, we had a deal. Yeah, no, that would be sick.
Shoot or something.
Yeah.
Oh, the Millennials, man.
But yeah, I would love to see it. I would love to see stuff like that.
I would like to see Andor, Caspian Andor.
Yeah, we were talking about that earlier, dude.
I'm just waiting. I'm just waiting for the Facebook post where Hot Toys just shows like the little trailer, and like coming from how they do that when they're gonna like they did it with Ahsoka, and then everyone's like, all right, we're getting Ahsoka figures. Like that's the first tease. That would be great because they haven't done that for Andor season 2 yet, have they? They haven't posted like get excited for Andor season 2 from Hot Toys. Like once Hot Toys does that,
they did for Andor season 1.
They did, and they didn't give us anything. All right, so never mind. That theory goes out the window.
Hot Toys does that a lot, and it just messes with our heads because like, oh shit, Hot Toys. Like they posted like the Stitch movie, and they're not going to do anything but cost babies for that. So I don't know. Sometimes
Don't you say that?
Well, you already know. They look what they did with the
Pinocchio,
Experiment
dude. 626.
They hyped up that Pinocchio, and it was just a freaking little head. That made me so mad.
Oh yeah, what a disappointment.
Yeah, it's like from the Boys. What a fucking disappointment. Yeah, James Bond. I don't know, Adam. It's like they announce these licenses, and then it's just like, hey, we'll announce stuff when we get to it, and it's hard to predict. And like Lane said, I totally agree. Like I don't want to. I've been more reserved the past couple years when it comes to the announcements because like Return of the Jedi anniversary, we got some good stuff for sure, but also like Chris said, like it's also scattered. Like sometimes it's like a year later and they surprise us with something. Like look at that.
Or
look at
they
that
might
freaking
put one out and then you go months or weeks without seeing another figure. Like, okay, is it just one? Like we can get
like
Andor.
We've gone like a couple years without seeing some of the other parts of the line.
Look at the TIE fighter pilot.
Just out of the blue. Like, what is? Okay, that's great. There's a TIE fighter, but like, why did we have? I don't know. Like in A New Hope, Luke, or I mean, something around it that made sense. Why you would put out just this random guy or another? There was another trooper a week later or something or whatever that would make, or a yak face from freaking Jabba's sail barge, just something around it that made sense.
Yeah.
Well, just like Rogue One. They waited 3 or 4 years and got director Krennic, and then 2 years later after that we got the transport trooper and the
2 other.
So yeah, there's no consistency there.
What's up, dude?
They know what they're doing money wise because it makes people like my brother who got out, who are waiting for these figures, and then they eventually do them. It like draws them back in. They're like, okay, now they're doing it. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know.
For the James Bond stuff, wouldn't it be hilarious if they just do those little rocking things, like the little car with the James Bond head on top of it, like how they do the Batman stuff?
Yeah, like like the pop figures, like where it's a Batmobile with just like the head sticking
Yeah,
out of it.
it's called the
Yeah.
Cos Riders. Trust me, I'm a Cos baby
Oh.
expert. That's what they're called.
Oh,
Cos
okay.
Riders.
Sorry, they already have them for that. But
That
they're
would
an
be
interesting
hilarious
company
if
because
that's
like
what people get.
Yeah.
yeah, right. But they build hype, and then yeah, it's like, well, what was the point of? It just seems like a waste of their time too. But whatever. I would love to just be in a meeting, a Hot Toys conference room, and just hear how they discuss things.
I know, dude. It's freaking crazy, but yeah, I think it's going to be very unpredictable. I do think like an Obi-Wan is for sure happening. Like they're going to reuse that head sculpt, maybe with slight tweaks, or maybe it'll be exactly the same, and they'll just kind of update Obi-Wan's outfit a little bit. So I'm probably going to let go of one of my 2 Revenge of the Sith Obi-Wans just because I feel like that's definitely going to happen. Oh yeah, we ain't talking about that $80 Mario Kart because I'm gonna get pissed. We're not talking about that. But yeah, it's tough. It's tough. 5 exclusives, and then 2 weeks later, we're expecting. I don't know. It's tough. They went really, really hard on Celebration this year. 5 exclusives plus like Grogu as well. We can't forget Grogu. Like that's a instant release as well.
Oh,
They
right.
definitely came prepared. Yeah, they came prepared. So 6 Hot Toys pieces.
So when I was
awesome
driving,
for
you
those that are
said
attending.
there's like the unannounced one. You said the hype is that it's a pretty big deal.
Yeah, so the store employees, I guess, were very strict about it because they didn't want to get in trouble, which is understandable. But they used the word amazing. They said it's an amazing piece, and that, in their opinion, it's the best one out of the bunch. So, and they were prodding a little bit, like Kaiju and some other people were saying, they were asking like, is it like a samurai Vader or something, or a samurai something? They said no. That's all they said. So, I don't know. Could it be? They've said it, an Iron Man neon tech is amazing. So could that be just Hot Toys using buzzwords? I don't know. You know what I mean?
Right.
No idea.
But I like that it's the store employees and not like Hot Toys, PR.
Exactly. Yeah. Like, I mean, and which, to be fair, a lot of the store employees are the ones that leak a lot of the information. It's mostly store employees got buddies, and then their buddies tell me and many other people about it. So that's where a lot of the information comes from, honestly. Yeah, the staff at the event, yeah, these were actually like people going to the Hot Toys stores and talking to them, which is, again, that's where a lot of the leaks and stuff come from, believe it or not. It's Hot Toys store employees. They know ahead of time, and they see like the catalogs and stuff. That's funny. That's a great pickup. If they ever did Grand Theft Auto figures, that'd be great to throw one of those figures on that.
Yeah, I love what they're called, and it's so inappropriate.
Fagio, yeah, the Fagio.
Yeah, it's like that game.
I don't know why I remember a lot of the names of the vehicles in Grand Theft Auto. The Banshee, that's a classic.
Oh my god, some of the greatest soundtracks too in those games.
Grand Theft Auto 3.
Squid Game was so random too. How they just did one figure and now it's silent.
True.
Yeah.
Well, they
Days of Future Past Wolverine.
They probably figure it's just he's the only marketable character from it. I figured they could do the front man though.
I was going to say the front man, and then the troopers would have been,
or at least a squid guard.
Yeah.
But that's the thing when people say like, "Oh, well, Andor isn't like toyetic enough." I'm like, dude, there's so many. I mean, I don't know. Like
they made toys of a lot of characters in Vintage Collection and Black Series. They did a lot. They did the chick with the blonde hair. They did a couple versions of Andor. They did one of the K like security.
Did they do
droids.
Lucian, whatever?
I don't know if they did him. Luthen.
But dude, like John Wick is just a guy. John Wick's a guy in a suit with guns. So like you could, like Andor has a trench coat, a blaster, like he looks cool. Like there's so many cool. I was just rewatching the series, and like those characters would be great toys, man.
I agree.
Yeah, I can see. But even if they just had done some troopers from it or something easy stuff, like something that would have been easy. That's what I'm saying.
The droids are cool.
Yeah, they don't. It's not like we're all going like we need 50. Like I said, I think Ahsoka, they may have ended up making too many figures from that show overall. I'm glad they put some of them out, but from Andor, if they put out just even though maybe even more for season 2, we'll see, because maybe that'll be more into the OT era where we'll be feeling some of that even a little bit more than the first season of Andor. They can put out a Death Trooper specialist. They can put out Cassian. They don't got to put
there
out.
was a
like,
Luthen
50.
Black series. I guess they just didn't do it in.
They don't have to put out
Gotcha.
50 characters, but put out 3 or 4 of the main characters and stuff.
Lane,
Yeah, they put out
reference?
2 characters for movies sometimes. They can definitely put out 2 characters.
They put out Galen.
Oh,
Maybe
Flavia.
they put out Galen. Now I know he's a limited thing, but even if they did it as an exclusive as part of the end, I mean,
yeah.
Bad Batch was basically, except after the Bad Batch, like every figure put out was an exclusive, except I think for almost all of them, except for the Clone Commando.
I don't
Speaking
know
of
if I'd
Bad Batch,
buy Thanos, but yeah.
I want more
Thanos from Squid Game. Yeah.
Yeah, I want more figures from animated stuff. So like this new show is pretty exciting. You give us a Ventress, like some, even though it might not be the look for her that you really want.
Yeah, it's like the redeemed Ventress, but still.
Yeah. But still, like I'd like to get some more animated characters from Star Wars. They pull it off really nice.
Show Quinlan Voss showing up in that show, so we can actually
Vintage Collection.
get a Quinlan Voss. I would be super happy with that.
Yeah, they just announced a Vintage Collection, Asajj, and like her, the look that we want, the all purple, like with her when she's still evil under the night.
Oh, cool.
Assassin look.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Who knows? Who knows if they'll do it? Yeah, Ventress is long overdue, and honestly, that sideshow one's so ugly. I don't like that look at all. I'm not a fan. It's like the comic.
Have you seen the new Ventress premium format?
Yeah, bro. It's nice. Light up sabers.
Yeah. That looks really good.
It's funny that the quote exclusive item is the old head covered with the covering and stuff from the original.
Yeah, that is interesting.
That's exclusive, where it's just the down with the bald head. Is the
tighter? Yeah, I'm surprised they didn't do I know Sean really wanted like the Imperial crosshair. A lot of us wanted that, but like I'm surprised they didn't do Imperial crosshair or like any. Yeah, that's weird.
Especially for the demand for the original.
Or Omega, they didn't do Omega, which honestly, dude, I don't know what that would look like from Hot Toys. That might be super creepy, but
they could have given us the final episode. The final episode where she's older. They could have given us that one.
That's true. Yeah, I really want that Jar Jar. I thought he looked awesome. I thought the prototype looked great, and he had that goofy ass little, I would love to see that.
Does Jar Jar have like not wrist, but like forearm bands or something? Because I would want seamless forearms that go up to the band. Because that was the only thing I didn't like about was that wrist joint there.
Yeah.
So if they could do that, seamless forearms for him, that would be perfect. That figure, man.
I think he did have a visible joint. I remember, yeah, he does.
Yeah,
it's pretty seamless though. Like the visible.
Yeah,
I'm looking, it's pretty seamless.
I just mean the wrists look a little. If you could hide that, that would be cool.
Yeah, I agree. But we'll see. Hopefully, that's crazy. People dropping the cheat codes. I just remember, Flavio. I remember left down, right up, left down, right up. I remember that code. I used to memorize all those cheat codes, all those games, all the time. But
Contra.
Yes, Contra, dude. Yes. That's there's a lot of marketing materials like merchandise and stuff where they put the classic Contra code on it. Crazy week coming up, guys. I think if we're going off of what Kaiju Daddy, we're gonna go off his prediction. He thinks that by tomorrow we'll have an announcement for that final, which would make sense. I mean, they're gonna announce that before Celebration comes up, just so people know what to expect, because there's a lot of planning involved, going to those events, getting to those booths, finding out where everything is, and knowing when you're able to grab it and stuff. So they'll probably announce it before the end of this week. I think Wednesday's a good prediction. I'll stick with Rob. I'm not going to stick with the Jedi Starfighter because who knows, but
Adam that would be awesome.
Yeah, TC-14 would be sick. I actually have a couple TC-14 figures. I have a 3.75 TC-14, and then I have a 1/12 scale TC-14 that's die cast. I love the look of TC-14. I think that'd be really cool. Any droids, dude, I feel like a lot of people slept on the 000. I freaking love those figures.
I love that figure.
I look at them all the time. 000, dude, is just so sick, man.
He's great, dude. I'd want Andor's droid, B. That droid is great.
Was it like BMO or what the frick is his name?
I think they just call him B. I mean, I don't know what the full name is.
B3MO, I think his name is.
Something like that. But it's cool. I like the mechanics of it.
Yeah,
and
B2EMO. B2EMO.
Okay. Yeah, that'd be a cool droid.
Yeah. I mean,
I think my number ones are just Padawan Obi and Episode 2 Obi.
Yeah. I agree. I totally agree.
I have to admit, I got fooled on that April Fool's photo that was going around.
Oh, with
Poe Dameron. Yeah.
I actually, a
I
friend of
actually
mine
got
who's a
excited.
seller, he actually sent that to me. He's like, looks like we know all the exclusives, and I was like, that's not real. But I thought that was funny. Dirk Diggler said, do you guys think Hot Toys might hold off on teasing new figures due to their idiot? No. I think Hot Toys is a train that's going to keep on rolling no matter what. So I think, and they have an event coming up where they're going to be selling this stuff in person. So absolutely, they're going to be announcing new stuff. Like I said, I think Robert, I think that's a good call from Kaiju. I think maybe tomorrow they'll announce that final exclusive. If I had to guess, they're saying it's something amazing. I think we're going to end the stream here now, but I want everybody to throw out a just splatter on the wall guess of what it's going to be. I'm going to say, they said it's not, see, my first guess would have been like a Samurai Stormtrooper, because they already announced a Vader, but I'm like, damn, they also announced a Stormtrooper. I'm going to say, damn, this is tough.
A new prototype Fett.
Yeah, that...
Hey,
I mean,
Payton.
I'd want it.
You stole. That's crazy. You stole. Yeah, you guys in the chat can throw one a splatter on the wall because we're just going to end it after everybody says. Prototype Fett is a good one. I did kind of mention that in the chat the other day. Like I'm like, oh, we need a prototype Fett, which is long overdue. I'm just trying to think like where they could go with like the Japan theme or the exclude. I'm throwing it out there. Macquarie Vader, dude. Screw it. I'm turning it into a wish list. Macquarie Vader.
That'd be sick. Yeah, mine's a wish list one too.
Go for it, dude. Throw it out there.
I'm just gonna put it out in the universe, but I want a Kanan. I want a Kanan from Rebels, like live action interpretation, to go with the rest of the Rebels crew we got from Ahsoka.
Yeah, I mean Ezra too. I mean, shit, man.
Yeah, I was loving Ezra.
I don't want like the Nomad Ezra.
Nah, I want orange suit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because technically he's in. We did get the hologram of him with Sabine wearing that.
Other companies have made that version and branded it Ahsoka because of that moment.
Skywalker, get out of here.
Yeah. Dark Ray.
Well, I mean, I don't think that's a hot take. I love Watto. Who doesn't like Watto, dude?
No, I love Watto too. I take a Watto, but I don't see that as like. I'm trying to imagine what they'd be super. You think they would be like, oh, it's like the most mind blowing thing. It's Watto.
Yeah, right. I'm thinking,
but I'd like
obscure.
it.
Like if they did a concept art Maul, like I wouldn't be surprised if they did another concept piece or even an artisan. Maybe they'll throw out some random ass art. Or here's my secondary one. I'm gonna throw this out because they just did a lightsaber of hers through Disney World and Disneyland and directly from the website. I'm gonna say Mara Jade. That's another one I'm throwing in.
That would be sick, Mara Jade. Or I was just thinking, you mentioned concept. What about like breathing apparatus Luke? With sick. Like that Macquarie type saber.
Dude, that
it just looks like a flashlight.
His designs, Macquarie's designs are just freaking unbeatable, dude. When it comes to like concept art in general, I think he has some of the best concept designs ever. Like his work was just amazing.
Oh, that's not even like a stretch. I mean, I think he's the best of all time.
And look at everything he did and what actually, came to fruition. And then even years later, like with Rebels, they freaking dove back into his stuff and it was just so cool to see. Let's see, we got damn, dude, I would lose my shit if that
would be sick. Dude.
Or like Vader in the meditation chamber, I'd lose my mind, man.
Oh,
Artisan Watto, Artisan Kylo Ren, that would be sick. That would be sick. I don't see any sequel trilogy stuff happening anytime soon.
That would be Lane's first choice. I think.
Queen Amidala, what'd you say, Sean?
An Ewok.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Ewok because it's completely far out there.
Tebow, that's still one that I really want. I love Tebow. He's my favorite Ewok. So yeah, I would love to see that.
And since it's hair and everything, they won't have to mass produce it because that hair takes forever.
Yeah, that's true. Kabuki, Leia, Queen Amidala is not a bad one either. I could see that for sure. I'm surprised they didn't do it already. Finn too, yeah, the sequel trilogy stuff I just don't see happening. I'm sure you're probably joking about the sequel trilogy stuff. Dude, Pod Racer would be way too big in 6 scale, but that'd be freaking cool.
What if it's a Lucas?
Imagine like Sebulba. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, Kaiju has been joking about that, like a Lucas Stormtrooper. That would be
cool. Like
they did do
that right.
Yeah.
Oh my God, yeah. Lucas, even if it's like a George Lucas in some kind of Japanese theme, That'd be pretty sick. I would buy
like
any
a
George
full
Lucas.
Komodo with George Lucas.
Yeah.
That
be
would
the
be sick.
best.
Star Killer, that's a great guess too, like a regular Star Killer, not
Yeah.
like the Lord Star Killer. Okay, get out of here, bro. First of all, they wouldn't
It
even
could be
release a
a-
sculpted version of that, let alone an artisan version.
Artisan potato sack.
Yeah, I mean, trust me, dude. Everybody wants Poe Dameron. I would get a Poe Dameron. I have a whole sequel trilogy shelf, but that was a troll. So I feel like because that's been put into the universe as a troll, I feel like it's just not going to happen. Yeah, Macquarie Vader would be fire, dude. It'd be so fire.
It really would. That's why I'm glad we're getting that one from Rebels, because the closest thing we might get. So.
Yeah, Lane mentioned that earlier. Yeah. Yeah, Mace Windu, Artisan, Rooted. Yeah, you guys are... I'm cutting it off now. You guys are ridiculous. But, no, yeah, obviously we're all just having fun with it. Yeah, we're all having fun with it. But maybe it'll be like another, like, Hot Toys what if thing. Like, you know, like a Mace Windu. What if he survived? What would he look like? You know, kind of like they did with the Battle Damage Vader, where that's not like necessarily a canon thing. They just did their own thing. It could be something like that. Like a Hot Toys original
frozen?
Concept.
Yeah, no, that'd be great.
Handsome.
Oh, there he is.
Yeah.
What about
rooted eyebrow?
What about an updated Krennic from like the trailer with everything that he has?
Yeah,
on?
someone mentioned that earlier. I mean, certainly I could see a new Krennic. Maybe not for Celebration, because you know it's gonna be like an instant release type of thing, and they probably want to time that Krennic with the show. But yeah, I mean, I could certainly see it. I was saying earlier too, like Ben Mendelsohn in the trailer, he does look a considerable amount older than Rogue One, which obviously is a bit odd because he's supposed to be, you know.
Is he rocking like the same? I don't remember. I only watched the trailer.
Hairdo?
But in the
like
same
outfit?
like all white like outfit with the.
It's similar, but it doesn't look exactly the same.
Because that's such a good look, man. I love that look.
Even just Max Rebo in general and that little like pillar. That would be sick.
Be fun.
Whatever that thing is he sits on. Silicone Yoda. Yeah, a lot of great guesses, guys. We'll just have to wait and see. Like I said, I could see it coming out, you know, this evening into tomorrow for us. Guys, that's gonna wrap it up. I first want to say, Sean, it was great to hear from you, bro. I mean, not hear from you, I've been talking to you, but great to have you hear your voice again on the stream, because you know we miss Sean, and you know you guys know Sean's been dealing with some health stuff, and he's been doing his best just to enjoy life, you know, and he doesn't want to be overexerting himself on stream because he can't, and he's got kids and everything to take care of. So we appreciate you, Sean, for making the time just to pop in and say what's up. I know everybody in the chat missed you. We talk about all the time backstage and stuff that we miss you, and I look forward to the day when you're in full good health and you could be back almost weekly. I say almost because, you know, stuff happens, but also I didn't expect Chris or Mike to be here, so I appreciate you guys popping in. I thought it was going to be the two-man bands, Lane and I were ready to rock. Lane had his hair wig ready to go. I had a guitar in the background.
Gotta go out with a bang.
Yeah, so guys, yeah, like Mike and Chris were saying earlier, like, you know, this will be our last week until Chris and I get back from vacation. So spring break, Chris and I are going to Florida, so we won't be here all next week. So hold it down, guys. There'll be no stream next week. So I'm letting you guys know now, because I always get trolled. All my friends troll me every time I don't go live. They all do. They all message me and troll me. So I'm letting you guys know now we will not be live next week. No videos. I may, depending on when it arrives, I may have a review up for the Ahsoka the White before I leave. It just depends on when she gets here. If she gets here too late, I'm going to send it off to the next person to review. But I do have Ahsoka coming from Jeremy Casa to review, so hopefully I'll be able to look at her and take a video or review of her before I leave. Thank you so much, Valkyrie. You are too kind, my friend. That is $5 towards my trip, or you know, it'll get dissolved like this because you know that's how I'll be spending money in Florida and Disney World. But thank you so much,
because
Valkyrie.
everything costs so much.
Right. That'll be good. That'll be like a drink for me. So I appreciate you, my friend. Yeah, and you know, it wasn't a lot to talk about, and we somehow still turned it into an hour and 47 minutes, but that's what we do here. We have fun, so when you have fun, you just kind of lose the track of time, you know?
Hey, are you and Chris going to Savi Saber together?
Yes, we actually are. So
that's awesome.
I've done 2 builds, but I told Chris, like, we have to build one together and do that experience together. So we actually are. It sucks because there's a May 4th special Saber that's only for... like May 4th, and then like a limited time window, so we're just missing that. It's like a special.
I know there's a bunch of cool stuff that's happening in May, and we're like going right before.
Yeah, so we're missing like the special set of scrap, but it's gonna be fun to be little dorks and hold the saber up, and you know, Chris and I are doing it together. So That's crazy. Jazzy, see what you've done, man. I'm sure Jazzy's not here anymore, but OG fans call me baby. OG says, spring break to Florida, you are a baby boy, LOL. Thank you so much, OG, for the $2 super chat. I appreciate you. Thanks, Flavio. I appreciate it. Awesome to see you, bro. Like I said, guys, check out Flavio's reviews. It's hard to get Steam going with reviews nowadays, but we don't want to see long-form content die. So, guys, watch the long-form videos. Yeah. I think YouTube is going to balance the scales soon. They're like, oh, shit.
You may be going at perfect time since I think Luke Skywalker is going to be there, actually, at Galaxy's Edge.
Unfortunately, Lane, thanks for bringing up a sore subject. He's not in Florida. He's only in Disneyland right now.
Oh,
they do that shit all the time. Yeah, they do that shit all the time. They got all the good characters, and then Florida gets only half of them.
That's weird.
Like they have Fennec. Fennec is out there. Yeah.
Take care of Peyton. Yeah, dude, they get
They
everybody.
have all the characters in land.
We have Mando at Disney World, but it's like you got to wait in a freaking huge-ass line, and it's not like he goes down the line. He just looks in the crowd, and he's like, oh, I'm going to walk over to this person. It's like, cool, I'm not going to sit here for 2 hours. You're going to go up to all the little kids. That's what you're going to do.
Dude, I'm kind of glad that Fennec is so hot. Like, I would be like, oh, my God. No. Anyway, I'm on 1%, fellas. I got to bounce before I get myself in more trouble.
Thanks
all right, see you guys.
Mike. Good to
have a great trip.
Yeah, man.
Bye, chat. See ya.
See you, everybody. Guys, by the way, like I said, check out everybody's channels, links in the description. Sean, would you like to close us out with any words of wisdom before we head out, since you're not able to come on as often right now?
Yes. Don't do anything dumb. Collect what you want. Don't let other people tell you how to collect. It's your collection, not theirs.
Universal Translator, buy clones.
Yes, buy clones. Buy clones. If you want them. If you don't want them, don't worry. I'll buy them. They'll have a home.
Yeah.
And one more thing.
And he's not kidding. He is not kidding, guys, with that.
And then Lane, sell Sean your ARF Trooper. Final.
Yes, everybody, please tell Lane he's not even happy with it. He doesn't even like it. And he won't sell the ARF Trooper to me.
This is crazy, Lane. Sneaky, get out of here with that pinhead ass Obi-Wan. I am not buying that thing. Get out of there, bro.
That is definitely that is not
pinhead Larry
figure.
Oh, it is the worst. It is the worst. But yes, guys, those are words of wisdom from Sean. Thank you so much, everybody. I hope you have an awesome next week. If you haven't already, consider dropping a like on the stream. Subscribe if you haven't already. And we'll see you next time.
Remember, make bad choices.